Imagine waking up one morning and the sun is gone. Not an eclipse, not a storm, not even clouds, just darkness. No warning, no explanation, and no one knows when the light will return. This sounds like something from science fiction, but it actually happened multiple times in real life. Entire regions suddenly plunged into darkness in the middle of the day. Animals panicked, communication systems failed, and people believed the world was ending. The most terrifying part is that even today, scientists still don't fully understand why. Tonight, we are uncovering one of the most mysterious natural phenomena ever recorded in human history, known as the Dark Days. Let's go back to September 18th, 1938. In the Yamal region of Siberia, it was a completely normal morning. The sky was clear, people were working, and children were getting ready for school. Life was moving as usual, but at exactly 8:30 in the morning, something strange began to happen. Without any warning, the sunlight slowly started fading. At first, people didn't notice, but within minutes the situation became impossible to ignore. The clouds turned yellow, then brown, and slowly a deep reddish color spread across the sky. The light grew weaker and weaker. By 9 a.m., the entire region looked as if it was covered by a dark filter. People stopped what they were doing and stared at the sky in fear. By 10:30 in the morning, the darkness had become so intense that the sky and the ground looked almost the same. It felt as if the sun had disappeared. People lit candles in their homes, offices, and even on the streets. Shops closed, work stopped, and fear spread everywhere. But then something even more disturbing happened. All the radios suddenly stopped working. At that time, radio was the main communication system. Yet every signal disappeared. Authorities and meteorologists could not contact anyone. It was as if the entire region had been cut off from the world. People began to panic. Some believed it was the end of the world. Others thought it was a strange attack or some unknown supernatural event. Meteorologists tried to investigate. They launched flares into the sky, hoping to see what was happening above the clouds. But the flares simply disappeared. They rose into the darkness and vanished. The clouds were so dense that even the firelight could not pass through. For nearly 2 hours, the entire region remained in complete silence. No sound, no communication, and no explanation. This period was later described as black silence. Then, suddenly, around 12:30 in the afternoon, the darkness vanished. The clouds disappeared just as quickly as they had appeared. There was no rain, no storm, and no dust. The sun returned, and everything went back to normal. But no one could explain what had happened. This strange event became known as the Siberian Black Day, and even today, it remains unsolved. Years later, scientists began investigating historical records and discovered something shocking. This was not the first time such an event had occurred. On May 19th, 1780, one of the most famous dark days happened in New England in the United States. That morning also began normally. People were working on farms, children were playing, and the weather was calm. Suddenly, the sky turned yellow. Then darkness spread across the region. By midday, it was so dark that people needed candles to move around. Many believed it was Judgment Day. Churches filled with frightened crowds, and people prayed, thinking the world was ending. Animals also behaved strangely. Birds stopped singing, and chickens went to sleep as if night had arrived. At night, the moon appeared, but it was dark red, which made people even more terrified. This event lasted for several days before the sky finally returned to normal. Even today, the New England Dark Day remains one of the most mysterious events in American history. But the mystery didn't end there. In 1802, a small ship called the El Dorado was traveling across the Pacific Ocean. The sea was calm and the sky was clear. Suddenly, without any warning, dark clouds covered the sky. There were no storms, no strong winds, and no waves. Yet the ocean went completely dark in the middle of the day. For nearly 90 minutes, the crew experienced total darkness. Then the clouds disappeared. If forest fires or volcanic eruptions were responsible, how could such an event happen in the middle of the ocean? This created even more confusion. In 1886, another strange incident occurred in Wisconsin. It was around 3 in the afternoon when suddenly darkness covered the entire area. Horses panicked and ran for shelter. People were terrified, but after only 10 minutes, the light returned. Newspapers later reported that the darkness moved like a wave from one region to another. There was no eclipse, no storm, and no explanation. Scientists have proposed several theories to explain these events. The most widely accepted theory is forest fires. Large fires release thick smoke and ash into the atmosphere, which can block sunlight and create darkness. This theory explains the New England event because ash was observed. Another possible explanation is volcanic eruptions, which can release massive amounts of ash and darken the sky. Some scientists even suggest cosmic dust from space blocking sunlight. However, none of these theories explain every case. Many incidents occurred without fires, eruptions, or cosmic activity. Because of this, meteorologists use a special term called local decrease in atmospheric transparency. This means that for unknown reasons, the atmosphere suddenly blocks sunlight in a specific region. Possible causes include radiation, sudden atmospheric changes, or unusual interactions with nearby water bodies. But these remain only theories. No confirmed explanation exists. Human history is full of mysteries, and many events were never recorded. Dark days may have happened far more times than we know. The most disturbing fact is that there is no clear pattern. Some occurred within years, while others appeared after decades. This means such an event could happen again anywhere and at any time. And when it does, scientists may finally uncover the truth. Until then, the dark days remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries on Earth.